What is going on, everybody? Riddle's here, back again. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. It is greatly appreciated. This is the Riddle Me This podcast, and you are tuned in to episode 16 of the Riddle Me This podcast. Got a lot to go over today. I've been behind on all the happenings from the gathering and such, so we're going to go over all that today, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on a lot of the things that had happened at the gathering um, and whatnot. So, first things first, I don't have the mask. If you follow me on Facebook and Instagram and such, you will have seen that I officially retired the mask as of yesterday. It just wasn't fitting right anymore. I put it on and it just slides everywhere it moves. And down in the lower right corner, like right here, uh, it's like that part of it just sticks out now. And it just looks very weird and very awkward, and it doesn't fit right anymore. It doesn't form to my face like it used to. It's just old and worn out. So I may try to find a new mask, a new look. I don't know. But for right now, I am maskless. And for those of you who are like new to me, this is my ugly mug without the mask. So, something you're gonna have to get used to. Like I said, I may end up creating a new look. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But either way, it doesn't really matter that much. But that's what happened with the mask. I still have it. I just don't. I'm just not wearing it right now. And uh, it may be a completely permanent thing unless I can figure out some way to fix said issues with the mask. So be sure to go and subscribe to the Wicked Crew, the collaboration channel that I am a part of with Dr. Wicked, Nightmare Juggalo, Alan the Clown, and others. Go and show some support. Subscribe to us. I will be on there Thursday to give my thoughts on this week's weekly topic. So stay tuned for that. And there's plenty of great videos on that channel that are live now. So go and subscribe, show some love and support to the Wicked Crew. Also, if you're new here and you like what you see, you like what you hear so far, please hit that subscribe and turn on the bell for all notifications so you will be notified when I upload content to this channel. Depending on my schedule, I try to stay pretty regular with it. So, let's get into the news and my thoughts for today for what I have planned. First off, the big news. The release date for Fearless Fred Fury and the new EP, Flip the Rat. These will both be released on Friday, October the 26th, 2018. Not only will Fearless Fred Fury be officially released, but also an 8-track EP called Flip the Rat will be available as well. Now, there was a rumor going around that this was going to be coming out in July, I think like July 20th. But I think that was just rumor and speculation. Or maybe, I mean, you know how ICP is. People find things out and they run and they go with it, and then all of a sudden they change it just to fuck with us. So I don't really know what's going on with that. Maybe it was just rumor and speculation. Maybe it was just something that somebody came up with, just to troll or whatever. But the official release date, straight from ICP, October 26th, 2018. So keep an eye out for the brand new Joker card of the second deck, Fearless Fred Fury, along with the new 8-track EP, Flip the Rat. So can't wait to hear that. ICP has said that this will not disappoint, and I hope uh, that this is true and they are true to their word on this. I can't wait to hear it, and I know a lot of others can't as well. So there we have that. Fearless Fred Fury is approaching. Now let's go over these notes from the ICP gathering seminar. Um, there's a lot of things that ICP mentioned in this seminar that I want to go over and give my thoughts on. There's a lot of big major points in here that I want to touch on. So first off, like we just mentioned before, Fearless Fred Fury. No one will be let down. Like I said, the release date is October 26th, and they are dubbing it Fearless Friday. Also, on the 26th, the Flip the Rat EP will be released. There will be instructions inside of the Fearless Fred Fury booklet on how to obtain said EP. So, when you get your copy of Fearless Fred Fury, look through the enclosed booklet with the credits and the liner notes and use your ninja skills to obtain said 8-track EP called Flip the Rat. The Great Malenko Tour is going to be in Canada, and it is going to feature Isham. So now we've got ICP and Isham. They've pretty much wrapped up, and squashed all the beef from years back, and they are going to reunite for the Great Malenko and Friends tour coming to Canada. So if you're in Canada, you don't want to miss out on the Wicked Clowns and Isham. Also, speaking of Isham, ICP has also said that there may be a Soopa Villainz reunion in the works. But it looks like it might just be ICP and Isham. Lavelle is still kind of up in the air. It's not 100% sure yet whether Lavelle is going to be a part of this or not. Like the last I heard, Lavelle recently became like religious. He became a born again Christian, I believe, and if that is true, I really don't see him coming back and reprising his role as Mr. Hart in the Soopa Villainz. That's just me personally. But with this, we still get ICP and Isham reprising their roles from the group. I loved Furious. That was a great album. Isham, It Ain't Safe No More, the Soopa Villainz album that he and Lavelle released after the falling out with Psychopathic. That was some good shit. So hopefully, if this Soopa Villainz reunion pans out and works out, it will not disappoint, and we will get some great shows and possibly some new Soopa Villainz material out of it as well. Now here's one of the big talking points of what was said at ICP's seminar at the Gathering. Violent J has gone on record, quoted as saying that we will never reunite with Twisted ever, and that Dark Lotus is not going to happen again. However, there will not be any disses or shade or shots fired at anyone at any time from here on out. Um, you, you know, Violent J, stating that Dark Lotus is never going to happen again, and that they will never work with Twisted ever again on anything at any time, is in a lot of ways it's disheartening to me. It hurts me as well as a lot of other juggalos and juggalettes out there. Um, but at the same time, I'm not really surprised, considering, like I've said before, Violent J and Monoxide are carbon copies of one another, personality-wise and ego-wise. Both of them, have to have the last laugh. Both of them can never be wrong. They always have to be right. And, regardless of whether the beef that they had is completely, totally squashed, which I'm assuming that it is, maybe it's best that ICP and Twisted doesn't reunite for anything ever again. That's just me. However, back in February, I believe it was, on a Brunch and Bake episode, Monoxide has stated that he, Jamie, and Blaze are all three collectively down to do more Dark Lotus and more Rydas. That's another thing. Psychopathic Rydas seems to be no more at this point, due to this announcement. But they're down to do it. But it seems like Violent J is the one that is stopping that from happening, preventing that from happening, and that's sad. Dark Lotus, Psychopathic Riders, two of my favorite groups in the history of Psychopathic Records, and it's a fucking damn shame that it has to end this way. But I am also the kind of guy who never says never. Just because Violent J says, "Oh, we'll never reunite," you never know what's going to happen 5-10 years down the road. So, it might be false hope, but for me personally, I'm kind of keeping my hopes up for a Dark Lotus / Rydas reunion. However, I will say this. Going back to the original quote, Violent J said that they will never work with Twisted again. Now, they didn't say a word about Blaze in that. Now, if I'm using excuse me, my logic correctly here, if Blaze is still down to do Psychopathic Rydas and Dark Lotus, they could still do that. You would still get that sense of the original old school lineup of those two groups. ICP, Blaze, put ABK, back in there. When it comes to Psychopathic Rydas, you could add Ouija and maybe Light to it. Dark Lotus, you got ICP, Blaze, Anybody Killer, again, put him back into the mix. Big Hoodoo, Maybe you could put Jump Steady in the lineup. That I think that would be great. Um, but I've said it before in a past video. Dark Lotus and Rydas doesn't necessarily have to die. You know, if if the fans truly want it, yeah, it won't be that same lineup that we're all familiar with and we all know and we all love. But they could still give it to us if the fans still truly want it. Yeah, it may be a different lineup, but you know, that's just the way that it is. It could still work out. It could still be great and produce some dope music. So, I'm just kind of guy. I never say never, and who's to say what's going to happen a few years down the road? You never know. So, will we ever see Lotus and Rydas again under the original lineup? Maybe, maybe not, but it is what it is either way. Um, I'll still always bump the old shit no matter what. Um, Violet J's daughter, Ruby, and Sugar Slam will be coming out with their own line of Juggalette clothing, so that's pretty cool. Mother and daughter working together on a new venture. Um, a Juggalette clothing line. That sounds pretty cool. Good luck to them on that. Ruby's shirt design was put out, and it was one of the best-selling psychopathic shirts put out in the last year. So, if that is a sign of things to come for this Juggalette clothing line, it could work out very, very well. Not only for Ruby and Sugar Slam, but for the label as well. When they get home from the gathering of the Juggalos, the new supergroup on Psychopathic will begin recording, and it is called the Looney Goons. They are describing it as possibly like 1980s hip hop style or a 2018-2019 hip hop style. Or they could just mesh them both together. I think that would be pretty cool. A little bit of the old school mixed with the new school. And this supergroup will, of course, consist of ICP, Big Hoodoo, Light, and Ouija. So, I've heard. I'm sorry, guys. I've heard, a lot of people, saying that's just whack, that's stupid. But I'm also the kind of guy that wants to give it a chance and just see what they do with it and see where they go with it. Sounds pretty interesting. It sounds like a great lineup. So hopefully it doesn't disappoint in the long run. Shaggy and Violent J have both announced solo tours for the winter coming up. Shaggy will do some fuck the fuck off motherfucker shows, and Violent J and Isham are going out on tour together. That sounds pretty cool. So keep an eye out for that. If Violent J and or Shaggy are in your town coming up this winter, go and check them out live. I'm sure it's going to be great shows. Violent J is starting his own label under Psychopathic, Big Baby Records. And he says that currently, right now, this label is going to be very heavy on compilations. So now, with the creation of this label, does that mean that Hatchet House is no more? And now Big Baby Records is taking place of Hatchet House because Hatchet House is pretty much dead, you know. Um, so maybe this will replace Hatchet House and eventually into the future bring some new life into Psychopathic and the future of Psychopathic. So we'll just have to wait and see. But good luck to Violent J on the creation and the venturing of Big Baby Records. Um, can't wait to see and hear what they do with that. Um, Shaggy Two Dope is coming out with an art line. Paintings, sketches, and prints. You know, he's done a lot of the artwork for um, the ICP albums, the Joker cards, and things. Shaggy's a very talented uh, artist, not just on the mic, but drawing and painting, sketching as well. So that sounds pretty cool. I can't wait to see what he does with that venture. Um, Shaggy saw a guy's balls at the gathering this year, and he thought it was funny. Hey, it's the gathering. There's always going to be something like that. Um, Brand new action figures will be out either by Halloween or Christmas. So, um, you know, new uh, a new action figure line from Psychopathic. Um, perfect time for the Halloween season or for the big kids like myself at Christmas time. So I will definitely be keeping my eyes peeled for that as well. Um, Wrestling fans of 20 years later, Stranglemania 3. So if you are a fan of the Stranglemania series, um, keep your eyes peeled for Stranglemania 3. I've actually got Stranglemania 2 on VHS somewhere in my junk pile in this apartment somewhere. I'd have to dig it out. I think I still have my copy of Shockumentary too. I'd have to go look, but the Stranglemania thing was just fucking great. It was funny. How they would, how Violent J and Shaggy would, you know, dub their own voices and commentary into these hardcore death matches from Japan. It was always fucking funny. It was entertaining. So Stranglemania 3 coming soon. Um, Vinyl collectors. These are coming out by the Christmas season. The Ringmaster, Terror Wheel, Bang Pow Boom, and Hell's Pit will all be released on vinyl just in time for the Christmas season. Um, Hell's Cellar was found a couple of days before the gathering of the Juggalos. 13 songs were found by Straight Jacket. Very dark times for ICP during the Hell's Pit era, and ICP claims to have no memory of recording the Hell's Cellar songs. Of course, I've already given my thoughts in a review on the Hell's Cellar EP in the previous episode of my podcast. So if you missed that, you can go check that out as well, where I go in depth into each song and give my thoughts on it and just my overall feelings about it. So go and check that out if you haven't. Speaking of the Hell's Pit era, the Hell's Pit 20th anniversary is coming soon, and it will have more unreleased songs from that era. So we'll have to see, and we'll have to see what comes of that as time goes on. That for me would be another like Halloween time kind of thing to release. Um, Violent Wear is making a comeback. First available, the first thing available will be a leather jacket, jerseys, t-shirts, um, Carnival of Carnage, crazy materials used for this line out within the next 2 months. So keep an eye out in the next couple of months for that. Um, 6 months, 6 months later, and over a period of 3 years, there will be all six Joker cards. During an ICP concert tonight, that night there will be another announcement, which I think was the Soopa Villainz announcement that I went over earlier. Psychopathic Records plans for the future. They are very proud of all the artists that they have signed. However, they do not want to sign new artists, and they want to work on new ICP. The Bloody Brothers and more alter egos are coming. Um, the special seminar CD, the Willoughby Rags Magical Bag of Poop CD, I have listened to that, and I will give my thoughts on that later on. Um, the next year's 20th gathering will be known as the Super Gathering. So I have no idea what that entails, what that pertains to, but we will wait and see next year as gathering time approaches. Bands for everyone's style next year. So like, they're going to have apparently a lot of different styles and genres of music at next year's Super Gathering. A brand new Psychopathics from Outer Space is coming out this year, so I can't wait for that. This will be Volume 5, I believe, if I'm counting it out correctly. They are filming a brand new video coming up soon for the Fearless Fred Fury album. And they also said to expect something very special for this year's Hallowicked. Of course, Hallowicked is one of their big events of the year next to the Gathering. So, I mean, it's not as big as the Gathering, but it's still one of their big major events of the year. So I'm sure they will have something fresh for the Halloween season this year. So that is it for this episode of the Riddle Me This podcast. This was episode 16 of the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. What do you guys think about the whole Dark Lotus and Rydas situation? And, Fearless Fred Fury and everything else that we discussed today on the podcast. You know, video responses, you can comment below in the comments of just whatever you want to do. Be sure to check the links in the description below. Again, the Wicked Crew YouTube channel, that'll be linked below, as well as the merchandise. On the Wicked Crew merchandise, we've all got our own separate t-shirt on there. So look for the one that says Riddle's Nightmare, which is me, of course. And, we've got a lot of other designs on there. Dr. Wicked, Nightmare Juggalo, Alan the Clown, and such. Just as well as just the regular Wicked Crew logo t-shirt. There's stickers, just all kinds of great shit on there. So go and check that out. Check all the links to my social media. Give my Facebook page a like. Follow me on Twitter at Riddles Juggalo. Follow me on my Instagram, Snapchat, PlayStation 4. I have PlayStation 4. You can send me a friend request there. My business email, all business related things, questions, comments, concerns, likes, dislikes about the channel, etc., etc. You can hit me up on there and I will try to respond to you in a timely fashion. So that is all greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the Riddle Me This podcast. I'm Riddles. Have a great day. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. And I'll catch you later.